Hello students, how are you all? I hope you are doing well. So today I am going to learn or I am going to give you an example or introduction about the Anglo-Maratha wars. Okay, so like that only in the first like Battle of Carnatic Wars and Battle of Plassey and Buxar, like that only here there are three Anglo-Maratha wars has been fought. Okay, so that Anglo-Maratha wars I am going to explain you now. So it's under the rule of Lord Wellesley. Okay, so let's discuss the first Anglo-Maratha war. So what is the first Anglo-Maratha war? Between whom this Anglo-Maratha war has been fought? So reason for this Anglo-Maratha war. The next large scale expansion of British rule in India occurred during the government generalship of Lord Wellesley. Okay, so Lord Wellesley came in India in the year of 1798 at a time when the British were locked in a life and death struggle with France all over the world. Okay, during this time, during the first Anglo time, Lord Wellesley, so before that, Lord Wellesley came and he started his journey in India. Okay, like he tried a lot of tricks, and till that, in this first Anglo-Maratha war. Okay, before the first Anglo-Maratha war, let me give you a brief introduction about Lord Wellesley so that you will get an idea and you will get to know the reason. Okay, the reason of why they have fought this and what's the reason. Okay, so here when a Lord Wellesley came to India, he saw like everyone was busy and everyone is their own rule. So during that time, okay, so I would like to say I would like if you are writing a dates so that it will be easy for you as well, and for me also easy, and try to write a mind map. If you don't know how to write a mind map, don't worry, I am going to send you one or two mind maps so that it will be easy for you. And it's easy if you're writing a mind maps, if you're practicing it, you'll get an idea for that. Okay, so here, okay, let's get back to the lesson. So, till the British had followed the policy of consolidation, their gains and resources in India and making territorial gains only when this could be done safely without any hesitation, without any rule further delay. Okay, so then political condition political condition in India were propitious for a policy of expansion. Okay, aggression was there, so aggression was easy as well as profitable. How, like, while the practice of helping an Indian rulers with a paid British force was quite old. Okay, if a ruler wanna go for a fight, he should hire a British man to fight. Okay, it was a given definite shape by Wellesley. So Lord Wellesley only the one, he said, okay, if you are going to do anything in your life or in a kingdom, you are supposed to inform us. Okay, so like that only, it was a given definite shape by Wellesley, who used it to subordinate the Indian states. Okay, so the Indian states to the paramount authority of a country. So over here, the British was not have the Indian doesn't have the political conditions, and they used to be under the Britishers, right? So under his under his residence, the subsidiary alliance system, the ruler of the allying Indian state was compelled to accept the permanent stationing of the British force within his territory. So what happened here? The subsidiary treaty usually also provide that the Indian ruler would agree the posting at his court a British resident, that he could watch or he could say something else. So they should be under uh, Britishers, who the Indians. So they doesn't have a right to do their own thing. So that's the side effects of the subsidiary alliance. That's what we can say. And then during that only lot of wars went, right? Tipu Sultan lost his life. Hyder Ali also lost his life. So that they control and everyone started showing their faces and no one have an interest to do something else. Okay. So here the British army attacked and defeated Tipu in a brief, right, in 1799. But French help could reach him. Tipu still refused to beg for peace on humiliating terms. He proudly declared, who? Tipu Sultan, he proudly declared that it was better to die like a soldier than to leave a miserable dependent on the infidel low caste. Okay, so infidel in the list of their pension rajas and naboobs, like those who used to live a rat life. So he said, I am ready to die like a soldier, not like a man who later on they can say, see, I gave him a lifespan so that he could live. So Tipu Sultan, he just with front face he declared he met a hero end on 4th May. Okay, so when this everything happened, he met a hero and on 4th May 1799 while defeating his capital Srirangpatnam, right? His army remained loyal to him to the very end. So during his last breath he was a loyal person, who? Tipu Sultan. Nearly half of Tipu dominions were divided between Britishers and their ally the Nizam. The reduced kingdom of Mysore was restored to the descendant of the original Rajas for whom Hyder Ali had seized power, and then a special treaty of subsidiary alliance was imposed to honor new Rajas. So when a Tipu doesn't agree their rules, so that again the subsidiary alliance they posed to the new Rajas, and then the same thing happened. They said, oh, no, we are not ready to do this. Because who will agree, right? So no one will agree. If I say you are also not able to agree that. Okay. So here in 1801, Lord Wellesley forced a new treaty upon a puppet. Puppet in the sense, if I will say you to sit, you have to sit. If I will say you to cry, you have to cry. So that's called a puppet, because I have a power. I have a power to manipulate you, to say you something, and you should say yes, either it's right or wrong, that's no matter. So here a Lord Wellesley forced a new treaty upon the puppet Nawab of Carnatic, compelling him to cede his kingdom to the company in return for a pension. The Madras Presidency in 1947 was now created by attaching the Carnatic to the territory seized from Mysore, including Malabar. Similarly, the territories of the rulers of Tanjore and Surat were taken over and their ruler pensioned off. Then here the Marathas. So then after that the Marathas came. Only major Indian power left outside the sphere of British. So everyone like Tipu Sultan doesn't agree. Before that, Sikhs they also doesn't agree for that. And then the last but not least, Marathas was only one who left in India, because everything was controlled by the Britishers. So here the Marathas were the only major Indian power left outside the sphere of the British control. Wellesley now turned his attention towards Marathas, okay, and towards them, and began aggressive interference in the internal affairs. So again he started to interfere in their personal life. Again he started to say this and that, you have to agree, you have to take a permission, blah blah blah. He said everything. Who? Lord Wellesley. Then the Maratha Empire at this time consisted of a confederacy of 5 big chiefs. So on that time, Marathas, as you all know, we have discussed it before itself. So Marathas, they have they have one thing to be said. What's that? Okay, so here like 5 main chiefs. So I will suggest you to please note down that names like Peshwa, Peshwa, Peshwa at Pune. Then the Gaikwad, Gaekwad, Gaikwad at Baroda, Baroda, Baroda. Okay, and then next is the Sindhya, Sindhia, Sindhya at Gwalior. Gwalior spelling Gwalior, Gwalior. And then the Holkar, 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 Holkar at Indore, Holkar at Indore, Indore. And last but not least at the Bhonsle, Bhonsle, Bhonsle at Nagpur, Nagpur, Nagpur. The 5 main chiefs like Peshwa, Gaikwad, Sindhya, Holkar and Bhonsle, they are the 5 major chiefs in Marathas. They have the superior power and they can't say yes to the Britishers' rules and regulations. Now this is what happened. So Peshwa began a nominal head of the confederacy, but all of them were engaged in bitter strife, blind to the real danger of the rapidly advanced foreigners. So they doesn't know. So they said, okay, Britishers are there, so they will do their work and they'll go. We are not like other rulers, so we have to be very careful. Okay. So Wellesley had repeatedly offered a subsidiary alliance to the Peshwa and Sindhya, but the far-sighted Nana Padnis had refused and fallen into the trap. So he said, see, I am not going to accept your things and all, I am going to reject it. However, when on 25th October 1802, the day of the great festival of Diwali, okay, when in the year of 1802, 25th October, on that day, that's a great festival of Diwali, Holkar defeated the combined armies of the Peshwa and Sindhya. The cowardly Peshwa Bajirao II rushed into the arms of the English and on the fateful last day of 1802 signed the subsidiary alliance at Bassein. See, this is what happened. So when at the time of Diwali, Peshwa and Sindhya, they combined armies of Peshwa and Sindhya. Holkar was defeated, Peshwa and Sindhya. Okay, so for that a coward Peshwa, like a Peshwa Bajirao II, he went under the arms of army and he said, I am ready to agree your treaties. Who said? A Peshwa Bajirao II. And they signed the treaty, subsidiary treaty at Bassein, Bassein, at Bassein in 1802. So the victory had been a little too easy and Wellesley was wrong in one respect. How the proud Marathas chief would not surrender their great tradition of independence without a struggle. Right? So they won't say okay to anything without fighting. But even in the moment of their peril, they would not until against their common enemy. When Sindhya and Bhonsle, see, when I am explaining this, I would suggest you to please write down the names so that you can able to find out, okay, Bhonsle, Holkar, Sindhya, Peshwa, so they are the 5 chiefs, so what and all they did, so it will be easy for you as well. Okay. So now, when Sindhya and Bhonsle fought the Britishers, Holkar stood on the sideline and Gaikwad gave help to the British. So here, Sindhya and Bhonsle fought for the British. Holkar stood a sideline. He went out of, he is neither the side of Peshwa neither the side of Sindhya nor the side of the Britishers. He is standing alone. And then Gaikwad, okay, so gave help to the British. So he gave help to the British. When Holkar took up the arms, Bhonsle and Sindhya nursed their wounds. In the south, the British armies, okay, so the British armies led by Arthur Wellesley defeated the combined armies of Sindhya and Bhonsle at Assaye in September in Assay. ASSAYE. Okay. In September 1803 and at Argonne in November. Argonne. ARGAON. Argonne. In November. In the north. Okay, south, what happened? In the south, the British armies led by Arthur Wellesley defeated the combined armies of Scindia and Mosley. So the English army of the Wellesley defeated the combined armies of the Scindia and Mosley at Assay ASSAYE in September 1803 and at Argonne ARGAON in November. So please, I am requesting you again to write it down so that it will be easy. Okay. Now let's come to the lesson. In the north, the south was over. North, Lord routed Scindia's army at Laswari, Laswari, Laswari on the 1st of November and occupied Aligarh, Delhi and Agra. Who occupied? Lord Wellesley, and he occupied Aligarh, 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 Delhi, DELHI, Delhi and Agra, AGRA, Agra. Okay. Once again, the blind Emperor of India became a pensioner of the company, right? By our fools only we became a pensioner to the Britishers. Okay. It's sad, but we have to agree the things. The Marathas allied to the Sioux for peace. Then Marathas allied the Sioux for the peace from the Britishers. Who? The Marathas. So this is what? Sioux in the same case. So they started showing, the Marathas tried, they asked, see, we need a right, so we have supposed to do something, we should be free in our own home, but they are not letting us. Who? The Britishers. So he said, okay, so the Marathas started showing their face. Sorry, the Marathas started rebelling to the Britishers. Okay. Both Scindia and Bhosle became subsidiary alliance of the company. Who? Scindia and Bhosle. They ceded part of their territories to the British British presidency. Who? The Britishers. So again the Britishers, who? The Scindia and the Peshwa, they became same thing, the pensioner to the Britishers. So this is what it has been started, so that it will be easy to you. The Marathas only the one region, so then that too Lord Wellesley came and he did whatever he wanted. Both Scindia and Mosley became subsidiary to the alliance to the British company. They ceded part of their territories to the British, admitted British residents to their courts, and promised not to employ any Europeans without British approval. The British gained complete control over the Orissa coast and the territories between the Ganga and the Yamuna. The Peshwa became a disgruntled puppet in their hands. Disgruntled means he can't do anything, he should listen to the Britishers. Wellesley now turned his attention towards Holkar. See here? So I think you have written the fire chief name. So here the Holkar came. So Holkar, then the Britishers went to the Holkar. But Yashwant Rao Holkar proved more than a match for the British and fought British armies to a standstill. Holkar's ally, the Raja of Bharatpur, who Holkar ally means the help from the Raja of Bharatpur, inflicted heavy losses and Lake, who unsuccessfully attempted and to storm his fort. Moreover, overcoming his age-old antagonies to the Holkar family, Scindia began to think of joining hands with the Holkar. Okay, because a Holkar, he doesn't have anything, like he can't help. So he thought, okay, I will take a help from the Holkar. So he started. On the other hand, the shareholders of the East India Company discovered that the policy of expansion through war was proving costly and were reducing their profits. British statesmen and the directors of the company. So everyone is trying their own thing. So they have been started. Wellesley expanding his ruler policy had been checked near the end. All the same, it had resulted in the East India Company became the prominent power in India. So this is what happened. So first Anglo-Maratha War. So through this, the first Anglo-Maratha War started. So as you all know, I have discussed how a Peshwas and the Shah Alam so here the Shah Alam second, Kora, Allahabad, so they have to give everything, right? So that when they are doing this everything during this period, the death of Maratha Madhav Rao, so Marathas, as I have discussed, this resulted in the fight for the Peshwa post, and then when the Marathas best ruler only was not there, so they have to sign the treaty, that is the subsidiary alliance. Okay, so now let us see the effects. Later they have lost their Allahabad to the British, and they gave everything to the Britishers. British finally entered Salabai agreement and ended the war. Then Lord Wellesley, the subsidiary alliance, that's what I discussed you. So the subsidiary alliance, how it started, the expansion of the subsidiary alliance, and what and all the three policies that the British Empire in India, like subsidiary alliance came waging war against the state and administrating the state directly, everything. So and then I have discussed about the subsidiary alliance, what and all you have to do through the subsidiary alliance. You are not supposed to take any action in the absence of the Britishers, so you should take a help. So that everyone started arguing, right? So after the first Maratha war, the Lord Wellesley came and he put this treaty in front of the Indians, and they doesn't have any rights to say no. They should agree everything and they should say yes to everything, so that it will be easy to the Lord Wellesley and the Britishers. Okay, and then next, British of subsidiary. Then the British could place Indian states under the control, and all the side effects that the Indian faces. When they say no, so the wars started, and they have to do everything so that they could not say no to the Lord Wellesley. So I hope that is clear to you. So now let us learn the second Anglo-Maratha war had shattered the power of the Marathas chief, but not their spirits. Okay, spirits. They made a desperate last attempt to regain their independence and old prestige in 1817. See, again the second Anglo-Maratha was started, because Marathas lost everything. So they doesn't want everyone should say, see, you are not supposed to say at your home, is it fine? No. So that's the thing that had been happened. So like that only the second Anglo-Maratha was started, but no, the lead in organizing a united front of the Maratha chief was taken by the Peshwa, who was smartly at the end of this time. Okay. So let me tell you about the enmity broke out between the differences among the Marathas chieftains was the reason for this war. So the main thing is everyone started neglecting each other, like Yashwant Rao of Holkar, Daulat Rao of Sindhya, Peshwa Bajirao II. So they doesn't like each other. So that's the main reason. And that's the main reason they have to fight. In 1802, the army of Holkar defeated the army of the Sindhya and the Peshwa. The Peshwa appealed for the help from Britishers. Lord Wellesley finally got an opportunity, right? Because he is also waiting for that. The Peshwa entered, and this family of Holkar, he joined. Lord Wellesley defeated the armies of various Marathas family in 1803 to 1805. And the effects increased financial burden on the company, because when he helped who Lord Wellesley, when he helped, so through that in 1803 and 1805, the Peshwa attacked the British residency at Pune in November 1817. Appa Sahib of Nagpur attacked the residency at Nagpur, and Madhav Rao Holkar made preparation for war. The Government General Lord Hastings struck back with characterized vigor. So that before that, let me understood the thing is Lord Wellesley resigned from the post and returned to England because he thought, okay, I am doing so much work, and that too they are not agreeing, so why to stay here? Okay, then again afterward, the third Anglo-Maratha war started. So the third Anglo-Maratha war, the Maratha families tried their best to protect their independence and honor. Who? The Marathas. Even the Peshwa attempted to free himself from the clutches of the company because he asked help from the Britishers. So that's the reason they said everything, and they wanna do the thing. He have to learn the thing. The Peshwa attacked the British residency in Pune, and he burned, right? Appa Sahib also of Nagpur and Malhar Rao of Holkar rebelled against the British and was suppressed ruthlessly. Finally, Peshwa Baji Rao II fought against all the Britishers at Koregaon, Ashthi. Later, he surrendered to the Britishers. And then next, effects. The British abolished the Peshwa post, granted the pension to Bajirao II. They installed Pratibha Simha, the descendant of Shivaji, as the ruler of Satara, a minuscule state, and named him as the traditional leader of Maratha and suppressed the Marathas. The consolidation of the British rule. The next topic is the consolidation of British rule in 1818 and 1857. So I'll do it later. So till this, I want you to write the mind map for the Anglo-Maratha war. So, okay, so that it will be easy for you to understand. I need you to write. I will write. It's no doubt I can't write. I will write and I will send you. Before that, I need you to write. At least try to write a mind map. At least try to understand what is mind map. Okay. So till then, if you have any doubt, please let me know before itself, and try to understand the concept. Don't scratch your head. It will be easy. For that, you should work. If you are seeing for the first time, and then after that you are closing the video, and again if you are not watching it, sorry, you can't able to understand the things. I am telling you straightforward. So you are supposed to watch it again and again. You are supposed to write down the main points, okay? And then you have to do a work. Don't sit at home and don't just watch the video and then don't go to the next video. You are supposed to be here so that it will be easy to you. Okay, so till then, take care and keep learning. Bye bye.